Well, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Vampire the Rivals video looking at the lore behind the cards. Today we're looking at Clan Toreador. Clan Toreador are artists and posers, the beautiful people of Vampire World. High society, they're the heart of the Camarilla, and their members are split between true artists and those who are patrons of the arts. At best, they are graceful social swans, navigating and dominating social situations at ease. At worst, catty gossips. Camarilla society revolves around prestation and status, and the Toreador clan excel at these social games. The Toreador clan tends to spend more time surrounded by mortals than other clans, and tend to cling to their humanity more. Their living with mortals is a key component of them understanding their humanity. As they start to fall to the beast, the Toreador can become the most fearsome of monsters as they start to see mortals as just mere playthings. The way they interact with their retainers in game is a really good indication of how much time and effort the Toreador put into mortals. So with the Toreador clan, you've basically got a couple of themes running through the deck, which we'll talk to about later. There's one which is about retainers, swapping around retainers, extra damage if you've got retainers, extra influence if you've got retainers. And this represents, and actually the agenda for the core starters deck, the pre-construction one, is all about having retainers. Weakness: the Toreador clan have an obsession with beauty. In previous editions, they were enraptured by beauty. In current tabletop, this has morphed into the V5 Bane that if they are in an ugly place, they suffer to their dice rolls. Exactly how that ugliness translates is dependent for you and the storyteller to decide. So as we can see with the artwork for the Toreador, we have very well healed vampires, kind of more on the kind of glamorous side, shall we say. I will just mention that Drew Tucker Vampire Wands. Drew Tucker, excellent art for events and places and stuff. However, for individual vampires, I know he's been a long-standing artist, but I just don't think it works. Maybe it's just the choosing. I think looks more Brewheart, looks more Gangrel. But anyway, I could talk at length about Drew Tucker, but let's move on. The Toreador have always been seen as patrons of the art. In ancient times, they were muses and patrons of the great artists, flitting through Rome and Greece. They would also have a power base and congregate in Constantinople. Out of all the clans, the Toreador seem to need cities and people more than most others. After all, what is art without an audience? Then during the Dark Ages, they aligned closely with the Western churches. These were the main institutions that had wealth and organisation to create art. The Ventru tended to control the kings, whereas the Toreador looked at the church as a way to express themselves and build their power bases. They were influential in the creation of the Camarilla. Also, Ventru provided the raw power, the Toreador added the social flair, extended much of the courtly life and intrigue into the organisation of the Camarilla. The clan had always held a lot of sway over France, and the long-term Prince of Paris had been Francois Villon. So imagine undead creatures that excel at courtly games. In the Middle Ages, this was exemplified through the courts of love, and much of this did rub off on the social games and prestation that the vampires would eventually play and follow in the Camarilla. The clan in the modern knights are split between artists, those with true talent, and much can be said about what is art, and the posers, those who don't have talent and will often be the ones who decide what is art. Posers may also be failed or burned out artists. However, it all includes beautiful people, and these vampires do excel in social manipulation dominance. One of my favourite characters I played was a Toreador elder who specialised in communications and communications networks, inspired by the Merovingian of the Matrix movies. The Toreador do tend to dwell in high society with the best. If there is glamour and parties, then the Toreador will be there. They wield influence through parties, connections and networking. Soft power is a stock and trade of the Toreador. Their proximity to mortals and the love of the beautiful means they as a clan are more likely to indulge in mortal carnal pleasures. Carnal pleasures is not something that comes naturally to vampires in the world of darkness, as their bodies are they're dead. However, the Toreador understand those mortal urges and how best to manipulate them in mortals. They do, in Camarilla courts, gravitate towards positions such as Harpy, where they get to gossip and talk about how other vampire standings are affected and what they're doing. The Herald, who better to manage the messages from the Prince than the Toreador, who excel at social interactions, or the Keeper of Elysium. The Toreador elegance should not be taken for weakness. Their spread of powers make them dangerous both physically and in the manipulation of others. Keeper of Elysium is a particular powerful position for them, allowing them to maintain the meeting places of kindred and organise their parties. Knowing who's at those parties, what goes on, and the gatherings gives the Toreador immense social power. The fit was also a good one because in Elysium no work of art may be destroyed, so it's easy to see on the face of it how the Toreador are a natural fit for the position of Keeper of Elysium. The clan has no formal structure, and little like the Bruges rants and raves or the Ventrue boards and directorates to draw them together. However, they do form cliques and groups around different individuals or interests. Guilds are also a common grouping in cities, often trying to define what is and what isn't art. Powers. The disciplines of the Toreador. First off, Auspex the Eye. What better power for the Toreador to see and experience the world with? Celerity, supernatural speed, the lightning bolt. This is a power that makes a Toreador very dangerous in a physical fight. Finally, presence, the starburst. For me, this is the quintessential Toreador power. It is supernatural charisma, the centre of attention. The power itself has some parts that are attraction based and some powers that are defensive. But at its height, the persona is so mighty an attacker cannot bring themselves to hurt them. It can also draw others across the city to them. The clan in the game. I think the Toreador clan are really represented in Rivals. Certainly my overall favourite clan of all time out of every set is Malkavians, but looking at the Toreador cards from the core set, I was instantly drawn towards them. With effects that are based around retainers in the streets, that ties them close to the humanity and the closeness to Toreador I really like, and their ability to influence and win schemes was also one that drew me to them. Unlike the other power players in the Camarilla, the Ventrue, who accumulate raw power-like titles, the Toreador work on projects and schemes that interest them. So you'll see a vote here, a vote there, pick some mortals, pick some playthings here and there. And they're able to burst real power where needed. So it's not really for the Toreador to build blocks of power up. There'd be loads of ongoing things, but be able to burst out and capture what they need to do at the time. And it gives us a few interesting deck building options. I mentioned retainers before, but also schemes are really powerful. So, for example, when a scheme you play succeeds, gain 1 prestige. Exhaust this character's +2 influence during this action or event. +1 influence for each retainer attached, which kind of ties the two themes together. When this character plays a scheme, reveal a top card of your library and gain influence equal to the blood potency for this action. So straight away there, you can see there is a lot of powerful Toreador scheming available. And there also seems to be a slight look at prestige drain going on. And I suppose this is Toreador's gossiping campaigns eroding your available resources. It'll also be, well, we've got the vampires out before I put the rest of the Toreador cards out. Flick is a card, a Bruja with presence, and presence is shared by the Bruja, the Toreador, and the Ventrue. And I think Flick could fit into a Toreador deck or a Ventrue deck, which is based around schemes. Pay 1 blood, the character has +3 influence during this action or event. At 3 costs, it's a cheap way to get a bit of influence on the table. So there we are, the Toreador clan itself. And it would be worth noticing Shen, the leader. As soon as Shen gets a retainer, you can keep on winning those retainer battles. Too social, gets a retainer, becomes 3 social. Easy to pick up retainers and build that power base. So if we look at the Toreador specific sort of cards, non-vampire cards, of the first 3, which is based around schemes and scheming. So stealing prestige, gaining prestige and agenda, and winning schemes and gaining prestige and agenda. This block of cards here is what really attracted me to playing our scheme deck for the Toreador. And certainly I've won a couple of schemes where I've gained 4 prestige and 3 agenda from it. Really powerful. Don't know how that will play out in a multiplayer. I've yet to play some proper multiplayer games, but I will keep you informed how it goes. And then these ones, we have some very defensive cards. This one here, Steal Spotlight, giving you shields and forcing the attacker to lose blood. Feels very Toreador. And a social attack. Attack's not defeated, forcing your opponent to spend prestige to mend them. So these 2 here coming together for that prestige drain we're talking about. And Beauty is a Beast is during social attacks against it, deck mortal exhaust, attack deals +1 damage to the target. And I love the fact that this is a rehash of that meme that goes on. So yes, so Toreador doing what they do really well, schemes and retainers with a good bit of defense. If I could leave these out as I continue talking. Where can the clan go next? More of the same. There isn't anything really defining the Toreador that we haven't seen. That's because the clan is a really simple one. It's artists and posers, it's social people, it's all about seduction, it's all about interacting with mortals. But because it's a really simple clan, it's such a strong central theme and such as vampiric themes that they've always been popular in play. What I will maybe see is cards looking at seduction effects. I was thinking maybe something like the Tremere being able to mark a mortal, and that's claim for the Toreador, and maybe the Toreador could then block people trying to attack that mortal or give bonuses for attacking it. Another way we could keep heavy themes is knowing that the Toreador are very protective and gravitate towards Keepers of Elysium, is maybe something like the Nosferatu who can attach the Sheriff title, but a Toreador who can attach the Keeper of Elysium. I was also maybe thinking of them being able to do things with the tradition cards to highlight their skills at manoeuvring through the politics of the Camarilla. But that's a Toreador clan for you. Out the box, they're the ones that appeal to me most out the core set. And I've played with them the most since we've got playing. Although you can see by my card network, as I've said before, Malkavians are my favourite, generally clan. So thanks for watching. I look forward to talking to you again in the future. Remember to like and subscribe for content. Any questions about the Toreador, or if you want to know more than what I've spoken about, give me a shout in the comment sections. I'll try and get round to answering all the questions put forth in the comment sections, and I love hearing about your thoughts and perspectives as well, and how you might think the clan develops in terms of cards, or what you would like to see. I'll leave you with a quote. So this quote is from the clan novels. So the clan novels were 13 novels, each one based around a clan. Each one had a signature character. The Toreador was a character called Victoria Ash. And this is straight from the novel. Victoria wanted to gut the bitch right here. She knew she had to be careful. On the other hand, too much care might alert Eleanor as much as a blatant warning. So she had to play along with the Ventru's double entendre politics. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Goodbye.